You had a sister outside of a Safeway, and she was a very kind woman, and she wanted to help feed a homeless man's pet because she had some dog food. And in the process of her doing that, the story ended up calling the police on her, accusing her of going inside the store, stealing merchandise, and conspiring with an imaginary black man during the whole caper that they claim that she has done. Let's roll the clip.
On her free time, Erica Martin says she gives care packages to the homeless.
It makes me feel good.
Including one man who frequents the Safeway off Shoreline Boulevard in Mountain View.
That day, I just decided to go give him some dog food for his dog.
That day was a Sunday evening earlier this month, a day she'll now never forget.
The police just blocks me in. I'm like, what is going on?
Erica says she found herself suddenly defending herself to several officers who told her Safeway employees accused her of theft.
And then she was like, well, we were called here because you fit the description of someone taking items out of Safeway and bringing it back to your car. I'm like,
Erica says Safeway workers thought she was conspiring with an African-American man and that a group of kids were also shoplifting and bringing items to her car. She says her little boy had gone to the deli to see if they were giving away cookie samples, as he's done many times before, and was now sitting in their car frightened and emotional.
And he was like crying because he thought they were there to arrest him.
The thing is, Erica never stepped foot inside Safeway. In fact, she says she never got out of her car. Erica says she wasn't wearing the shirt reported to police. She was wearing this religious shirt instead. And she claims she was listening to gospel music and talking to her sisters, who'd also dropped off items to a homeless man. Her sister recorded this video of the incident.
Accusing her of stealing, and she was in her car the whole time.
Police say Erica and her family were helpful and calm and realized Safeway workers got it all wrong.
Racism still exists.
But the damage, she says, was already done.
I blame the Safeway employees, and for them to do something like that to me is just hurtful and shameful.
Will you ever go back to that Safeway?
I am not going back to that Safeway, ever.
Erica says a store manager apologized for what happened and that she'd be getting a call from corporate. She's still waiting on that call. A spokesperson for Safeway did return our request and said workers called 911 because a man who'd stolen here before had returned, but they're still investigating as to why police questioned Erica and her family that day.
You know, how could these employees make up something this outlandish and nothing happens to them because of it? Laws need to be changed over this. Seriously, it's getting way out of hand. If you're accusing people of stealing and that's not what it is, then some civil penalties need to happen. Someone needs to go to court. Law enforcement needs to start billing these people that's calling the police and they're completely fabricated stories. I mean, it has to stop. I mean, who's going to take the first step? What city? The people need to get together and go to the city council and tell them that we want to have this put up on a vote about the misuse of 911 and people making up stories, having law enforcement called out. We need to have on paper that if law enforcement kills an innocent person, that person could be charged with murder. Or law enforcement mistakenly starts to use excessive force, that person could be charged for the medical bills and also charged for that as well. I promise you, if these people that's calling 911 for fake crimes start having all this happen to them, that will stop that. Because notice, it's always one group of people doing this. I'm going to keep pointing that out. That is a pattern. And notice the people they keep doing it to. This is why I tell black people, I'm not for all that coalition stuff, because we have a special hatred that comes toward us. And I see it every day. It sickens me. I hate it to the core. But I have to let you know about it, and I have to keep drilling it in your head as much as possible, because many of you still oblivious. Many of you really don't believe it. Now, a lot of you do. A lot of you know what it is. But it's just another company that has employees there who are straight up racist. It's just that simple. Yes, I'm seeing some of your emails. I'm seeing some of your tweets from other white people that say, you know, this is sickening. And on behalf of white people, I apologize. Look, I'm not blaming you personally, but there are people in your group who just have a immense hatred for us. And maybe you could talk to them. because we getting sick and tired of it. We just getting an attitude like, you know what, let's just stay in our own corner, stay away, because every time we come around, it's a problem. That's just natural. If you kick a dog, it can be the nicest dog ever, but you kick a dog constantly, that dog eventually going to stay away from you. That's just like just a normal reaction. And this is why we advocate, go to black-owned businesses, stay in areas where you celebrate it and not tolerate it. This is why we say that, because we're tired of potentially could be murdered when police come out, because a lot of police, 9 times out of 10, they're white, have racial bias toward us because we're black, and they come in there with attitudes for the most part. We don't know which one we're getting at that point because you're lying. No, that can't be how it goes down. Black folks, start filing lawsuits on these people. I don't care if it gets thrown out. Figure out a way to file a lawsuit. That needs to have a bunch of lawsuits filed every time they call on you. And they won't tell you, okay, well, I need a Freedom of Information Act. I need to find out who called on me. I'm suing them. It's just that simple. And your attorney can get it, find out who called and where it comes from. No, black folks got to start suing. We're sick of this mess. If they won't do nothing about it, start filing lawsuits against these people because they're putting your life in danger. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this particular story. Brothers and sisters, watch yourself out there. Every little minute they pick on the phone and call, but I'm serious about this. We need to start suing the pants off of these people that's calling 911.